Alright, Nige back here again with another inbox review, and today we're going to do something a little bit different from me. We're going to have a look at RFM Models Strumtiger. Okay, I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, well, it's not a tank. I don't know what you would call it actually. Apart from it's got this big round gun thing. Yeah, okay. Now, we do get a lot of rifle model kits in. We've been a seller of kits, and I've been debating whether to do anything like this, but I thought, why not? We'll give it a go, see how well received it is. So on this you get what looks like 3 markings, okay, and you get a little bit of interior as well as workable track links. Okay, so you can actually, mold them or model them properly. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll get you on the overhead and we'll get cracking. So as always, I'll start with the review. Okay, now this is the first time I'm seeing anything for RFM models. We've been an aircraft modeler, I don't get really to have a look inside their kits too often. We start off with a sprue map, okay, with all the parts, all the track links. We've got some metal cables, some polycaps in there, and all that sort of stuff. Okay, and then we move on to the actual main parts, and there's some float wedge, okay, ballot strip. So start off in position 1 with some sort of winch, some sort of gear, okay, that looks like it could be part of the mechanism for the actual gun, the cannon. Okay, we then add these parts here, which these parts look like they would go on the side of the actual turret. Okay, I know there's not really a turret as such on these vehicles, but ballast, they are mounted onto there where the actual shells would line up and look. Okay, we've then got these tubular bits again. This looks like it's on the inside of the actual turret, the actual firing mechanism, which again looks very similar. Up here you can see where these wheels and all that sort of stuff on there. And then we have got these plates actually going inside the turret, which the big hole there's for the gun. We've then got some of the shells coming together, okay, and then we have got the cannon going together, and it's quite an involved part. Okay, so we've got the barrel, just here, going into the mantlet and all that sort of stuff. Okay, it tells you where to actually mount some of these bits, and you can see, as it's there, it's 1:1 scale, so it's telling you where to mount these bits, which then goes on to that's the cannon, okay, which yes, it's this bit. Okay, so the actual barrel goes through the cannon, and this bit, this ball type mantlet sort of bit, is where it gets all the movement from. There it says the gun can't movable when L34 part up. The gun can be movable when L35 part is down, so you can actually see this clip here. Okay, that'll be on the inside, so that's all this part. Moving on, so this actual part of the weapon system, okay, it's actually quite involved. All right, so you could really go to town there. We're doing some work and some webbing. What I didn't mention is it actually looks like this barrel looks like it might be rifled, so we'll check that out when we get to it. We've then got the lower hull, okay, and the torsion bars all going in for the road wheels, okay. which then we also have what looks like a radio compartment that goes on to the lower hull just there. That part looks like it's got lights and what have you on. Okay, so hopefully we'll find out what that part is in a minute. Before we then put on some of the sides of the lower hull, and you can see the workings there of the actual vehicle itself. Again, sorry, I am not familiar with these parts, but they look like there might be parts of the actual shells, we have the floor of the actual vehicle going on here. Okay, so you can see the floor all going on to cover the torsion bars where the wheels are. And again, some cradles going onto the side of the vehicle. The rear plate, okay. Are they the exhausts that going on the back? Just there. And then we've got the exhaust shrouds going on. Okay, I know you can do those really battered and stuff like that. Okay, before you then you've got some more winches going on the rear plate. Some of the tools that go on to go around the actual vehicle, and then we start looking at putting roll wheels on. Okay, and the drive sprocket and stuff like that on there. Some more wheels, okay, and then we've got the two drive sprockets which go on, the return roller at the back. Okay, that's what we used to call that. Whether I've got that right or not, I'm sorry. Okay, we've got some vents going on for the rear deck, okay, like so, and then we have the shells going into the cradles on the inside. We then add some more shells to it before the turret then joins and the rear plate, the rear deck joins on. Okay, we then have the option of a push shell handle, and then we have the actual shells actually on the inside. Before then, this bit is going to be the rear, the roof of the actual vehicle. So this plate here will fit on top. Again, some hatches and what have you going on before that plate then attaches to the top of the vehicle. Some side skirts, and then we've got the track links. Okay, it looks like you're meant to put these track links together, still keep it on the sprue, feed them in, and then cut them off. Same with the guide teeth. Okay, so yeah, they could be quite involved. And then we've got some more hatches from the rear plate going on before we then get on to adding, some other little bits and pieces. So we've got a cradle here for, I assume, loading more shells into the actual vehicle. And then we've got our colour call out in MIG ammo. Okay, the three-tone colour call out. Then we've got an overall Dunkelgelb, and then another three-tone camo as well, just there. And that is the instructions. So we'll move on, and I'll just work from top to bottom. Okay, starting with whatever this sprue is. Okay, so this is sprue O, and on here we've got some jerry cans, we've got some winches and plates, okay, some doors, okay, and The seam texture, okay, the weld seam texture is absolutely lovely. Some doors, okay, some rivet parts just there. The spades and all the little odds and sods on there. Next up, we are looking at the wheels, okay, and we have 2 sprues of these, okay, both sprue X, so we'll leave one here and we'll have a look at one, okay. So again, on both sides we've got really nice detail on the hubs, okay, and then we've got the bolts for the outer hub, the drive sprocket on there, and again some really nice detail on there. All the way down, some excellent detail. Next sprue is again 2 of the same sprue. This one looks like it's got some of the torsion bar parts, some more of the drive sprocket. So again, we'll just have a look at one part. Okay, so some of the torsion bars, some of the drive hub, okay, and then one of the a part of the drive sprocket, or a different part of the drive sprocket, and again some really nice crisp detail, okay, all the way down to some of these lights down here, okay. All right. Next up, we have some parts of the weapons, the shells, should I say? Okay. Again, 2 sprues. So I'll just get one out. Okay. Part of the mantlet, the tips of the actual shells, some of the cradle parts, some of the internal workings. So again, just a quick run round. That's nice moulding all the way around. We know injector pin marks where you wouldn't want it. Next up, some more of the shells. So more parts of the shells. So we'll just get these out. Okay, some nice detail on there, and they should look really, really nice. You can just see that detail on the rear of those shells. We will look at the tracks in a minute. So we have the lower hull. Okay, so the lower hull. Okay, I can feel, and you can see the sink marks, which is not really a problem unless you're going to model your tank, or should I say tank, your fighting vehicle on its roof. But you can see we have some weld detail all around, going all the way down. Okay, some of these hatches and plates, some detail up in there, and some detail actually on the lower hull. We then have the upper hull, or the turret, even though I know it doesn't turn, or it doesn't look like it turns. Okay, and you can see we've got the cast detail on here, or the hammer detail. Okay, so you can just see, hopefully if the light catches it, just see that detail on there, which is really, really nice. Okay, same on the plate on the front, and then you've got this little one in here. I'm assuming these are for hatches, and again you can see that detail on there. We have part of the rear plate. Okay, so let's put that there. So again, some nice detail, some nice positive locating parts for some of the tools and bits and pieces on there. Some nice bolt detail. This part is part of the side and rear of the turret part. So this bit's the rear of the turret part. We've got our side of the actual main hull. We've got the side of the turret part, and we've got the decking in here that goes on the inside. We've tie downs an actual proper deck plating texture, part of the actual weapon system as well, and again some really nice sharp crisp detail all round. Okay, again some more texture detail on there. The next one, okay, is some of the shrouds, some more sprockets, okay, some grills and other bits and pieces, another part of the side, and I don't know, a tow rope on there. Nice how they've done the hinges on these parts, or are they I think they might be the mud flaps actually. Okay, and again some nice texture on there. And then we have got the plate for the upper part, or the upper turret. We have got the ball, okay, for the movement, and some of these rings that go on the actual weapon. So you can actually see there's some nice detail on there. Some nice cast turret detail actually on the mantlet sort of part. Again, I believe there's some more mud flaps, some nice wooden crates there. We've then got the tracks, okay, so we'll just pull one out. So there we've got our main parts of the track. Again, some nice detail on there, all right, but you have to add all these parts. So that's your actual track. Then you've got pins and guide horns. Okay, so we've got 3 parts. So you've got your pins and your guide horns that actually go on here. Okay, so those bits will go on there, those pins would go in there, and they hold it all together. So that's what makes it workable. Okay, and then we have got our guide for help building it. Okay, so let's put those back out there. We then got a clear sprue. So I'm not going to take this out, but the clear sprue is for the top of the turret. So all that work that you want to do on the inside, you can do it with this. All right. Decals and a bit of wire, and then our photo etch bit, and again some polycaps. Okay, our photo etch again looks really nice. Right, so that is Rifle Models Strumtiger. Okay, now for someone that doesn't build tanks, Okay, it looks a really nice kit. Okay, really crisp detail, a lot of detail actually on there. Just on a word on something that I didn't know what it was, but that part that I thought was the inside of the barrel, that's actually the float wedge, and that float wedge needs bending and then rounding out to be able to fit down the actual barrel right on that picture there. Okay, so it's not rifled as such, it's just the way the actual barrel. So by the looks of it, what they would do, they got some plates and welded those plates together in a round tube. Okay, of course, in a round tube. Okay, and build and then install it in the actual tank itself. So yeah, it's a really nice kit. Okay, and you get an interior for not a lot of money as well. Okay, downside are obviously those tracks, but the way they look like they do it, so you do 4 bits at a time with that guide, doesn't look too hard. But then again, I've not built anything like that, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.